Well, I actually die at the end of season 2.
Spoiler alert.
Wait a second.
The stuff we fight for, story has it you used to believe in those things too.
I've been wastelanding for 200 years. I've kept myself alive for one reason. To find my family.
Well then, you're gonna need friends.
Hey everybody, I'm Jim Vejvoda with IGN. I am joined today with the cast of Fallout Season 2, Francis Turner, Walton Goggins, Kyle MacLachlan, Aaron Moten, and Moises Arias. Thank you so much, guys, for joining us today. We have a lot to get through, so let's just, I'm going to start with Walton and Aaron. An ongoing theme this season is characters either trying to hold on to their humanity or possibly trying to reclaim it after doing bad things. How's that going so far for Maximus and the Ghoul? Let's start with you, Aaron.
I don't know. I mean, what's funny is that for both of these characters, I feel like they're doing both of those things. You know what I mean? I feel like it's a beautiful thing about the way Graham and Geneva have crafted this story so well, which is we're always in conversation with each other's stories while we're not even sharing, you know, the scene with each other. I don't know. I think it's going to be an ongoing theme for our show is either, you know, your character's developing a certain way and none of this development is linear. You know, we're all going to be all over the place. So I don't know, that's one of the greatest challenges of coming to work and act in a series like this. And really that challenge is one of the greatest rewards because it's fruitful always.
Yeah, I think so much of the show is about competing kind of moralities, right? And the conflict between a belief system. You know, as the Ghoul, it's funny that you say that. I think the Ghoul's battling actually becoming human. You know what I mean? Like experiencing any real kind of vulnerability. And you know, my journey with Ella, Lucy, and the Ghoul, and this post-apocalyptic kind of road trip across the Mojave. You know, they have two competing moralities. One is nihilistic, and the other one is optimistic. And one of them will win out. Either she'll become more like me or I'll become more like her, and vice, or there's a middle path, right? And then you throw in, for me, I'm lucky in the sense that I get to play Cooper Howard and the past. And so much of what Cooper Howard is going through this season, whenever you cut to the Ghoul, it informs, it's like an origin story for him. So it informs kind of what's happening. Well, the same for you too, isn't it, Kyle? Really, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. That moral dilemma, you know, what have you done and who are you after you've done it and how do you wrestle with that? Yeah. I love that you said about becoming human because I hadn't thought about that until just this moment. And I think that's absolutely what's happening with you. And it's fascinating to watch it as you resist that. But I feel like this season, the temptation is greater. You see moments of, you know, when you learn about your family, et cetera, that kind of thing. Yeah, can't say too much about that, so.
Well, I mean, we can dance around it a little bit.
Okay.
This is for Francis and Kyle. What's kind of left for a moral compass for your characters? I mean, everyone seems to have their reasons for doing what they're doing, but you're kind of a sus, as the kids would say.
I think with Barb, there's so much the audience doesn't know yet, right? So they've heard her say what she said in the boardroom, but they don't know how she came to that. So in season 2, we're going to learn a lot more about the decisions she makes, why she makes those decisions. You know, if you believe her that her ultimate goal is to protect her family, especially their daughter, if you believe her, then, you know, you believe that she has a greater plan or purpose. But she is balancing her devotion to her family and is also navigating Vault-Tec, her Vault-Tec life, and she wants something out of there. So we're going to learn what her participation is and what the consequences are and the choices that she makes and all of that. But I don't think at the end of season 1, there's a lot of speculation about who she is and what she's done, but we really haven't seen it yet.
Yeah. I'm going to circle back to that, but I want to hear about you, what you're thinking of Hank's kind of...
Well, he believes he's doing what he needs to do, and it's the right thing. You know, he has a responsibility to the people that are in his charge. and they're threatened, and Hank's like, no, he's Vault-Tec all the way, and he puts that obligation right out in front. And I think that's also part of why he continues to do what he does in season 2. He has an idea, there's a plan, he can put it in place, he's going to make the world better, and he believes it all the way through, and he has to deal with his daughter, of course, and his point is there to make her understand, to help her to understand why he's doing what he's doing, and that it makes sense to him. Now he's walking the razor edge, about that, but that's where he's coming from, at least from my perspective.
Now, the last time we saw Norm, he was in a bit of a pickle. He was stuck there with Bud, the brain on a Roomba. But he had a lot of fearfulness in season 1. How has he kind of grown, become braver, and kind of growing into more of a leadership role this season?
Yeah, I think it's been, him being thrust into the situation, dehydrated, not having food, and finally seeing his dad's pod and questioning if that's the only answer, to only come up with an irrational idea, the only option he really has. And from there, now having a community to take care of. It's not only not having food and water for himself, but having to take care of an entire community. So from there, maybe pulling from what he's seen his father do his entire life, take a position of leadership, and balancing power and at the same time deceptiveness, to be able to control and calm down 20, 30 people to get out of this vault. And once they do, how do you survive on the surface?
Aaron, I wanted to ask, season 1 ends with the Brotherhood of Steel getting the cold fusion reactor after the battle. And now, how does that acquisition basically affect the Brotherhood in all of its chapters, but specifically that relationship between Quintus and Maximus? Like, it seems like there's a lot at stake for you personally this season, but he's still kind of on your ass about things.
Yeah, well, he is, isn't he? Yeah, he won't stop. It's kind of amazing that, they've crafted this beautiful story, Graham and Geneva, where at the beginning of this season, everything he wanted was this suit. And then by the time that he gets that status, he gets that promotion, it's like the last thing he would wish for. He'd rather be a lot of other places, but we know specifically what's in his mind, And so here we go in the second season. We're really trying to see, one, we get the opportunity to finally see what was shared to me when we did start, because sometimes these things do come to fruition as they once were foretold, which is Maximus's backstory a little bit, where that was always told to me. So that was always what he was in conversation with, which is like, where did he come from? That's what's different about him. What can't he let go of when he sees ghouls being killed, or whatever the atrocity is in front of him? What can he not let go of? But yeah, this newfound power does a lot for his chapter. We get this gift now in the second season of not just seeing Maximus's chapter of the Brotherhood. We get these other factions of the Brotherhood there that have different opinions. You know what I mean?
I think you are actually quite a violent man. You just don't want to kill me yet.
Actually, this is a question for Kyle and Walton. I know you have to be mindful of spoilers, but can you talk about your character's interactions with Robert House? And I guess specifically for you, how was it working with Justin Theroux on that?
You want? I'll
Go ahead. I mean, I have very minimal. Just it's me sort of referencing him, but we don't really actually have too much that we do. Yeah. He's a great guy. Justin's a fantastic guy. Yeah, I love him as a person.
Yeah, well, stop talking and I'm going to answer.
Yeah. Use up. But I'm happy to carry on if you might.
Justin Theroux is a dear friend of mine, and and he's a friend of Kyle's, and we have a lot of friends in common. He's an unbelievable actor, an unbelievable writer, as we all know. And when we got him on this, I was just so excited to play with him, just to get in there and see kind of what happens. But the way in which I didn't know what he was going to do, and I knew he was going to do something really interesting. But for me, when you kind of go back to this place with this guy, it's like, okay, well then who is he really in culture? You know, I don't know the game. I've never played the game. I'm in this story. So who is Robert House in our world? I'm not going to make a comparison to the world that we live in now, but let's just call him the biggest capitalist in the world, one of the most important thinkers in the world. So how do you, I don't know him, like, meaning that Cooper Howard has never met him. Cooper Howard's an actor. They have very little power, really. They can get into a restaurant, you know what I mean? But this guy is building nations and the biggest arms dealer in the world. So what would really happen if you got to spend time with that figure? Insert one of them that are in our world today. And so much of it is just observing. It's like, well, who are you? And you know, my takeaway from it with what Justin was doing, it was so interesting to watch, was, okay, who are you? Wow, that's who you're a lunatic. You're a lunatic. And I think, you know, one-on-one with a number of these people, we might all say the same thing. I mean, Cooper Howard's a reasonable, practical guy from Oklahoma, the kind of guy you want to have a beer with. And that's what was so much fun about doing that with Justin. He's really good.
Justin's more like Howard Hughes. You're like, you're losing it. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, yeah.
My hero, my mentor, my everything.
And then my final question is about the Deathclaw episode. The Deathclaw scene in the 5th episode. I understand that was like practical effects. That must have been a huge relief for you and Ella, instead of like looking at a tennis ball or something.
Well, I think I don't want to speak for all of us, but that is the way that Jonah designed this experience from the beginning. So much of what you see are puppets. We have puppeteers every single day. And this tactile kind of analog experience, I mean, they have to use green screens where they have to use them and all the rest of it. But so much of it is built around the sets that Howard Cummings builds, or all of the other artisans kind of behind the camera doing what they do.
it takes 3 people to fully operate a Deathclaw.
Yeah, 3. It takes, three. And it's exhausting. And it's hours. You think our job, those guys work really, really, really hard. And so, you know, you talk about that specific moment, but there was a rad scorpion moment that happens in one of these episodes, and it's just it's Ella and I were together because we're together a lot this season, and this one particular moment, it's just a dude with a string on a pulley pulling an inanimate puppet off a shelf like this, yanking it. Like, it's like my child can do that. Yeah? And it missed. Like, you know, once it went off this way here, or once it hit me in the face, you know, but then when it works, then it's just up to your imagination to react in time to it. I think that's what all of us enjoy so much about the show, is that we don't spend a lot of time looking at a tennis ball. You know, we're looking at something that's real. And that's why it resonates so deeply with me.
All right, Fallout Season 2 launches on Prime Video December 17th. For more things on Fallout, keep it locked to IGN.